Hey, how's everybody doing? So I wanted to teach you this song that, well, it's a shuffle. It's a T-Bone shuffle. And this song was written like in 1947. And T-Bone Walker, he was a great bluesman, man. He was paving the way for a lot of these other blues players, such as B.B. and Albert and Freddie and all the great blues players. He was they were listening to this guy for sure, and a lot of guys still. I listen to him all the time. T-Bone Walker, great blues player, and if you want to get your roots, listen to that kind of stuff. So this song to me kind of lays out. Uh, I mean, he was using chord tones throughout this whole little intro solo he did. You can hear the chords in his choice of notes, which is very cool. And he didn't just stick with playing that minor pentatonic stuff. He was, playing the major third, and then when it went to the four chord, he was playing the seventh of the four. And I'll point that out when we go through it. But one other thing I want to show you was this guitar. My friend Shannon Thomas from SA Guitar Repair Shop here in Lakeland, Florida, man. This guy is one of the best repair guys you would ever want to work on your guitar. I mean, he's a perfectionist. He used to work for Paul Reed Smith, and that's where he learned a lot of his stuff. But he loaned me this guitar, and this guitar is a Bluesman Vintage, and it's made in Spring Hill, Tennessee. And this would be like an Esquire model. The Esquire, the Telecasters. They had the no casters, they had Telecaster. Fender got sued because he used the name Telecaster. Or no, let me get this right. Yeah, no, Broadcaster. He got sued because he called them broadcasters. My bad. Called them broadcasters first. Got sued for that. I don't know if you know this story. I'm going to tell the story real quick. And if you don't like this stuff, turn me off now. But I'm going to tell the story about Fender. So Leo Fender called his first Telecaster a broadcaster. The Gretsch Company made a set of drums called broadcasters. So they sued Leo. So he had to quit using the term broadcaster. So then there was a period where they were called no casters. And then he started making back when he started making them, they called Telecasters. And one of the models was an Esquire, and it had one pickup like this. And so this would be an Esquire. If it were a Fender, it would be, say, Esquire up here, Fender Esquire. But funny thing about that, so when Leo Fender started G&L after he sold Fender, and he started G&L, George, what was George's last name? Gosh, I can't think of his last name. But anyway, the G stand for George and L stand for Leo, G&L. And when they started the company, G&L, the first Telecaster shaped guitar he called a broadcaster again and got sued again. So he had to quit using that name again. And I'm fortunate enough to have one of the early broadcasters that was made by G&L. And a really cool thing about mine, they were black. I think all of them were black. I'll have to pull it out of my stock sometime and show it to you guys. But I took the neck off one day and I looked at the neck cavity because I was trying to date it a little better. And in the neck cavity it said inspected by, and it had Leo Fender in ink. So I thought, dang, Leo Fender inspected this. So very cool. And I don't know if I'll ever sell that guitar or not. Maybe one day. It's worth a lot to me just to keep it. So anyway, back to this song and back to T-Bone. So T-Bone, like I said, one of the greatest bluesmen that we've ever had, and we're fortunate enough that there's a lot of his music that's been recorded and archived, so we can listen and learn from it. So this song starts out, we're in the key of G, and it starts off with this real simple phrase. Here, it's going from the root to the third with that minor third note, you know. So we're going to start here on the 5th fret. Let me show you how to play it. Start here on the 5th fret of the D string, 3rd finger, to the 3rd fret of the G string with your 1st finger, to the 4th fret of the G string with your 2nd finger. Here, let me cue this up a little better. Give me a second. Okay, right there. Let me cue it up right there. Okay, so the first, I love the walking bass line too. Typical old blues bass line, you know. Even in country music, I remember I played bass in a country band for toured with them for 3 years, and that was one of the first walking bass lines I learned how to play. Then I learned how to put the 7th in there instead of the going back to the root. But anyway, it starts off with that really nice bass line, and he comes in. Let's see. So the second line starts here again on the 5th fret of the D string, 3rd finger. Then you go up to the 3rd fret on the G string. Then you go to the 4th fret, 2nd finger, that's 1st finger. Then you go to the 3rd fret of the B string with your 1st finger. Then to the 5th fret of the G string with your 3rd finger. Back to the 4th fret of the G string with your 2nd finger. Back to the 5th fret of the D string with your 3rd finger. Then to the 3rd fret of the G string with your 1st finger, and you end here on the 4th fret of the G string with your 2nd finger. So let me play up to there. So let me get this where it's a measure before so I can get through this. And it's got a little more of a cue here. Okay. So that's the first 2 lines. So now it's going to move to the 4 chord. That's over the 1 chord, the G. And by the way, they're playing a G6 chord. They're vamping that shape there for the rhythm part there. So now it's going to move to the C9 chord here. And he goes, he hits that. It's the exact same lick as the first lick, except he changes the last 2 notes. So you start again here. Start here on the 5th fret of the D string, 3rd finger. 3rd fret, 1st finger on the G string. 4th fret, 2nd finger on the G string. To the 3rd fret of the B string, 1st finger. Back to the 5th fret of the G string on the 5th fret with your 3rd finger. Back to the 4th fret, 2nd finger on the G string. To the 5th fret of the D string with your 3rd finger. Then twice on the 3rd fret of the G string with your 1st finger. So let me play it up to there. Okay, so the next line starts again here on the 5th fret of the D string, and then you go to the minor 3rd there, which you're on the 4 chord now, which is that's the dominant 7th note of the C chord. So that's why he's playing that note. So he hits it twice, then rolls down, hits on the 3rd fret of the B string with the 1st finger. Then back to the 5th fret of the G string 3rd finger. Back down to the 3rd fret of the G string 1st finger. Back to the 5th fret of the D string 3rd finger. Back to the 3rd fret of the G string 1st finger. Then 4th fret 2nd finger G string. So that line goes. Okay, so let me play it up to that point. Okay, so these next 2 lines are just a repeat of the very first line. Not the very first, not that one, but that line. So he repeats that line and does it twice. So he goes. But I hear, if you listen real close, it sounds like he double tracked it. I haven't done a deep research of this song, but if you listen here, let me play it. Well, actually, it sounds like he's doing a second guitar part comes in when it hits the 4 chord. Here, let me see. You tell me what you think. There's definitely 2 guitar parts going on, and probably through the whole song, now to think about it. Let's see. Yeah, so there's a second guitar part going on there. So right there, it sounds like he hits. Sounds like he hits this C note here over the D chord, which would be the 7th. But I've seen other people play this and they hit this B note. And you can hear that note as well. Let me play that, just that section right there. I hear that note in there. But anyway, so he plays this line twice, and then he does this. And that's just played with your 3rd finger on the 5th fret. It's like the intro, basically, the first line. And he does that twice. Listen. Right here. Yeah. So let me play the whole thing one more time. So that's the whole intro solo to the T-Bone Shuffle. And like I said, there's a lot of good music theory going on in these little lines, and how he's, like I said, playing the major 3rd over the 1 chord when it goes to the 2 chord, the 4 chord, excuse me, the C chord. He plays the dominant 7th of that chord. that B flat note. But anyway, learn this solo and go listen to some T-Bone Walker. I mean, you know, if you want to hear some good roots blues, he's one of them you want to listen to. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this, and like I said, check out. I'm going to put a link to Vintage Blues guitars, and I don't know if I showed you the back of this thing. I mean, they do a good job. They relic this thing, man. It looks great. I mean, I own some old stuff. I own a couple. I have a '51 Tele. It's not quite. It isn't this weather check, but it's looking old. And I own a couple other Strats that are old. And they're, you know, they're relic looking because they are relic. They've been played, and you know, I just think it's a cool vibe, and this one's great. And this thing probably weighs, I'm gonna say it probably weighs about 6 pounds. It's one of the lightest guitars I've ever picked up in a long time, and you can get some interesting sound out of this. And but anyway, check out Vintage Blues Guitars. I believe that's what it's called. Bluesman Vintage Guitars. That's what it's called. And this model is called a Coupe. And I guess they roast necks. They do the whole ball of wax. They'll build you a custom guitars. As Shannon told me, that's what they'll do. I haven't checked them out a whole lot yet, but he told me to take this one and try it out. I love it so far. It's a beautiful sounding guitar, nice playing. But anyway, if you like what I'm doing here, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave some comments. But I'm gonna leave the links for this Bluesman Vintage Guitar Company, and check them out. They're made in Tennessee, Spring Hill, Tennessee. I bet I'm pretty sure there's a lot of Nashville guys playing these things, because these are nice, real nice. Well, listen, y'all have a blessed evening, and thanks for watching.